how to prevent it. What do you do with these things? Because again, your job is primarily for performance out there on the field. But if they're not prepared for it, you're not going to perform either out on the game. So the first thing you want to really take a look at is we've got to strengthen and stabilize around that joint. So in order to do that, we need to check all of our athletes when they come into it, no matter what sport they're in, or our wrestling coach or anybody else we go out to work with. Day one, we're evaluating all of them on flexibility. We want to see where they're at, and we'll go through some of the tests that we check them on, throughout this today, and make a checklist and make these kids accountable. Hey, at this point you need to be here, this is what we're looking for, and give them some fun drills to do if they don't make it. The easiest thing we can do, and we'll show you with our hamstring, is just sitting against the wall for 5 minutes. By doing that, you'll increase that, but it has to be done every day. Deceleration drills. Here's what we don't do enough, and we're seeing more even this year. I don't know if you've noticed in some of the papers you read, our ACL injury rate on professional football players this year has gone up. And the main reason for that, yes, they're powerful and all, but they missed a lot of their training camp ahead of time, which is still no excuse. I still have problems. If you're NFL, you're playing, you do your job for it, okay? But, that's somebody else, that's another issue. We'll get into that later. Right now it's about, if you don't work that constant deceleration, how to change direction, and we'll show a few of those exercises as well, your body won't recover and you're going to blow it out. You can do squats all day long, have the strongest legs out there, but that stop, change of direction, pivot with that power, that's where we're seeing them. And flexibility, that's kind of our last part. Flexibility, the strength around it, and deceleration. There's three primary things that you can do to implement into your programs, even when you're running patterns and plays, on how to change direction. And that's the difference I think we want you to understand a little bit, is that if you're, and I could go back to football, just our base thing, our football is running plays and patterns all the time should not be different than our speed and agility training. Our agility training, we tell all of our kids, when you change position, whether I'm going from a sprint to back pedal, sprint over into a shuffle or anything else, or just sprint to sprint, first rule is always drop the butt. We've got to get the hips down. We do that mainly because we have to plant the foot. How many of those kids you see when they change direction, that leg's straight out to the side? If you have the right surface, if you have the right cleats, if, you got a good chance of everything working. How many of you have perfect fields out there that they're working on? It doesn't happen. Even college, they don't, unless they've got turf, they don't. It gets chewed up and you're going to find spots that are bad. But by dropping the hips on any surface, they will stop the motion where they're at, then they have to kick back and move into that direction. We get a lot of them that learn, okay, I've got to drop. But then if you pause, that doesn't help either. So as soon as you make contact, I drop and explode into that position. I know my foot's not going to slide, and I know I've got that much more power getting into that.